way to make sure you're starting with a nice clean bubbling system. And this is only costs a few bucks. A little piece of PEX tubing and a fitting. Now, 16th inch drill bit. There you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holes around, 7 holes around there. So I'm going to clean this. We'll come back and I'll go show how I make my tea. All right, the PEX tubing's been cleaned, bucket, and the netting's been cleaned. I get one of these painter sacks from Lowe's or any hardware store. These go right into a 5-gallon bucket. I've collected 3 different compost here. Some of my oldest thermophilic, some of my oldest thermophilic from a different pile out front. This is almost a year old now. But I started with just wood chips, because there's a lot of wood chips left in it. So this is going to have more of a fungal dominance in it. And then a very finished worm castings that's been sifted. I'll put all these in here. I'll dump water through the screen. And then I'll add the foods. So we want to increase the bacteria count. And we're going to feed them with the sugar and the molasses. They like the molasses. But to feed the fungi, we're going to do a fermented fish. You can use oatmeal, I use oats sometimes, ground up oats and other things, but this is the simplest and easiest. Or a variety. Variety's great. So I'll put these in the bucket. We really only need a couple of cups is all we need for this much. We're going a little heavy here. But my reasoning for that, we're in the basement, we're in the winter time, we're going to be cold tonight. It's going to be a cold environment. In a warm environment, it happens much faster, just like fermentation. They multiply, that food, it's a warmer environment, those microbes really get going. We're in a cool environment. In a cool environment, feeding it less sugar, going ahead with a decent amount of the fermented fish, we're going to see more of those protozoa show up. So originally the bacteria are going to show up. The longer we brew it, we're going to see a tremendous amount of bacteria in there. But we're also going to see those flagellates, those protozoa, those flagellates, and those amoeba grow in there. So if you're familiar with that, great, you'll know what I'm talking about. If not, we're going to go and look at this under the microscope. So we're feeding the bacteria, we're feeding the fungi, the protozoa, which is those flagellates and amoeba, feed on those bacteria and fungi, the decomposers. So we're trying to get a diverse population of everyone in this tea, and then multiply them. So an extract, we're going to extract those microbes right now. Then we're going to put the air in there, the food in there, the air in there, and bubble it overnight. I'm going to go 36 hours for this one, but I'm not worried about that going too long. I'm not going to feed it heavy, and we're in a cool environment. All right, I'm going to stop there and we'll dump the water in. So we're extracting it right now. Just wanted to make an extract out of this. Let's get a little more. We can just do this for an hour, massage it. A gentle stirring. We don't want to be too rough with it. There's going to be strands of fungi that go through there, those hyphae. We're trying not to break those up too much. Damage between the organisms. We'll have a look here in a second, but we're simply extracting it now, gently moving it through that bag. Again, if I was just extracting this, it's a wonderful, wonderful tea to use. Just a little bit of time, we've got that wonderful color to it. And we'll take a sample of this upstairs. Look under the microscope. But just simply extracting all those good guys, there's going to be a tremendous amount in this diverse compost that we put in there. And then using it on your garden plants. It's just a great way to inoculate your soil. So an extract can be as simple as doing this for an hour, leaving it somewhere, whatever you've got, massaging it, gently massaging it. And just a great, there's no way to over fertilize with it. But even just this extract itself, you could dilute 3 to 1. Now we'll add the food. I used to add more molasses than you need to. You're really going to shoot those numbers up too quickly, and there's a chance of it going anaerobic or just starting to show up the bad guys in there. We'll talk about it, the bacteria that are going to zig a little bit. They're called spirilla. Because what happens is all that food gets eaten up, they run out of oxygen in food, and the population collapses. So we don't want that population to explode too quick and give it too many bacterial foods. So I'll just do a teaspoon or two of molasses. Don't need much at all. We'll do a couple teaspoons of this. Fish hydrolysate. I'm going to give it a good mix. Okay, we have the tube together. We have the air pump. I'm going to put this on the floor, wedge it in there. Before we put it in, I want to turn that air pump on so it's going to get loud. So we're pushing air out, not allowing that compost tea into here. A nice roll. Moving that up and around, getting all that moving around through there. Adding oxygen through all the columns. Nowhere. So we want that whole bucket to be moving, whole bucket to be churning. We'll grab a sample and have a look under the microscope. Okay, single drop on the slide. Oh, or two. Let's see who's in there. Got a real nice piece of fungi here. So now we're looking for fungi like this. This is saprophytic fungi, decomposer. Just a real nice strand, or two or three mixed together here. Another nice one over there. We'll go in and look at those. Again, that was 40x. We'll stop at 100x. Now we can see the separations in there. We're going even closer, but there's a testate amoeba there. Real nice piece. Let's see if we can look at that protozoa. Yeah, I think there's a testate amoeba. We can see the shell around it. Could be assisted micro, but I think it's something that's in hibernation. But I believe that's going to be a testate amoeba. We see the shell on it. In the background, we're seeing lots of lactobacillus, lots of rod bacteria, lots of cocci, these little dot ones. We're seeing fungal spores. Let's see if we can find a couple other more defined protozoa. There's a nice protozoa. It's a testate amoeba. See the mouth on that end? The shell around it, the insides. We're seeing a real nice bacteria count there. A good amount. We're seeing nice rods, cocci and bacilli. The bacilli, it's going to be the rods here. And the cocci are little dots. We'll see lots of little dots around. So dots and rods. We don't want to see any of the spirilla, and they would be the ones zigging zagging around. We won't spend a lot of time though. We got a nice sample here. Nice bacteria in there. So what we're going to look for in the next sample, and we're going to look in 12, 24, and 36 hours, is for the numbers of these bacteria around. We're going to want those to really multiply, to exponentially multiply. And when they do, that protozoa that we saw, they feed on these. So we're going to see the flagellates. We haven't seen a flagellate yet, but flagellates and protozoa numbers go up as well. We're trying to find that sweet spot where there's a lot of everybody that we want in there. All right, took another sample. We're 16 hours into this compost tea. I've had a little look around. Stopped here because there's a nice testate amoeba. We'll start with that. What we're really seeing in the testate amoeba is, again, that's a protozoa. Right here. And the protozoa are up from the decomposers. The decomposers being the bacteria and the fungi. There, we can see the bacilli going by, a real nice rod. That nice rod going by. I'm seeing lots of rod bacteria. That's what these, I don't know if this is this could be a testate amoeba dividing. I'm not sure what's going on there, but that's definitely a testate amoeba there. The mouth on that end. Real good look at one. We're going to see lots of clumsy swimmers coming through here, and often out here in a different layer right here. Some of these are fungal spores, but many of these that are moving a certain way are going to be flagellates. Let's get a good look at one. Some beautiful rod bacteria there. Okay. So we're seeing a great number of these. That only happens when you have all those bacteria and fungi down below. I'm going to back off again. We've gotten a good look at this. You can see the real round mouth on this end. You can see the test, the shell around it, the double wall. You can see it moving around right now. Oh, there's a nice piece of fungi. So keeping this short, we're real happy again. We're seeing exactly what we want to see. We're not going anaerobic. All right, I'll probably stop there and we'll come back in a few hours and check it. Check it in the morning at 36 hours. All right, Friday morning, we're 37 hours in. I just did a quick scan at 400x. We found one nematode in here. It's always a great thing. If he settles down, we'll have a look. I'm pretty sure it's a bacteria feeding, but we can't tell with them moving around so strong. We'll do a full scan here in a second. Let's go ahead and have a look in closer. Maybe we can get a little peek at his mouth parts if he stops for a second. It stops for a second. But that's top of the food chain, top of the soil food web, getting up there, other than arthropods. So we got bacteria and fungi, the decomposers. Then we got protozoa, which is the amoeba, the flagellates, and the ciliates. Ciliates being a sign of less oxygen if we see those. Then we have microarthropods. Then we have nematodes, 5 types of nematodes. I really can't say what type this is. Most likely beneficial. We're always happy to see them. Again, they're top, so they wouldn't be there unless those bacteria, fungi, protozoa weren't there. There's a flagellate in the background. We're going to go in a little closer so we can see it. Right here, zoom across the screen. I'm hoping to see a very large volume of those flagellates in here now. And those rod bacteria. Oh, and we are. Just seeing a great signs of life in here now. We're seeing tremendous amount of bacteria. We can see in every view here, lots of the rod bacteria. There we see a good looking flagellate. I did see one ciliate swimming through. Again, we got 3 to 5 per slide. Not a big deal. It's kind of better when we're on the edge of succession like that. In between aerobic and anaerobic, we're in that diversity of species. But it does mean we don't want to brew for too much longer. There's no nice flagellate there. It's still, I'm sure that's a flagellate there. Lots of bacteria around. Real good looking tea. Just an incredible amount of bacteria in here. Just what we were looking for. This is going to protect those plants. Feed and protect those new plants. This is for a client that's doing an install today. So they're going to cover the new plants with all this wonderfulness. Get all these workers out there doing wonderful things for us. So again, in the bacteria, there's a flagellate right there. Gone. And the bacteria, there's going to be dots and rods are what we want to see. And we're seeing just a tremendous amount of that in here. And those dots are cocci and the rods are bacilli. We're not seeing spirilla. That's what we don't want to see. We use these microbes to give us a sign of it's aerobic or anaerobic. There's a flagellate right there just went through. Real nice one. So we've got a tremendous amount of life in here. I will find a few testate amoeba before we go. But just a tremendous amount of beneficial life in here. I'm very, very happy with this tea. We hit the mark with this one. There we see a nice chain of those bacillus. A nutrient-rich environment, cycling these nutrients, making plant-available nutrition. There's a flagellate there in the center, spinning slowly. It's a real good look for us. This guy right here. So that flagellate's feeding on the bacteria. They're all cycling those nutrients, the bacteria and the fungi decomposing, the flagellates consuming, releasing that plant available nutrition. Just a tremendous amount of life in here. Okay, in summary, 36 hours into this compost tea brew. We've watched it halfway through. We looked at it at the beginning. We had to look halfway through, and here we are at 36 hours. Out here at 40x, things look kind of the same. Some nice aggregation, pieces of fungi holding things together. We can see the glues making things stay together. We did see one nematode in this batch. So as we zoom in, we've seen all these, a tremendous amount of these decomposers, the ones that we want. Of the bacteria, we've got the ones that we want. The bacillus and the cocci, the dots and the rods. These are our decomposers. We haven't seen any spirilla. One potential. And consuming those, we have the protozoa. We've seen lots of these shelled amoeba. Now we're seeing a tremendous amount of flagellates here at 36 hours. I've only seen one ciliate. Again, these bacteria and protozoa can let us know what our oxygen conditions are. If we were seeing a lot of ciliates or those spirilla bacteria, we'd know we were low in oxygen in anaerobic conditions, most likely. But we're seeing lots of these flagellates here, testate amoeba, and a tremendous amount of cocci and bacilli bacteria. So we have a tremendous amount of nutrient cycling going on here. These are great to spray onto the leaves, drench the soil with. Like I said, my friends are going to use this for an install. Just a great way to give those plants a head start, getting all these community members in there in a large population, allowing that nutrient cycling to begin right away, the defense of those plants to begin right away. I'm George, Fat Ninja Food Forest. Change can be better than a holiday. Peace.